Good morning, church family. First and foremost, I want to give honor and thanks to Pastor Wilson, co-pastor and assistant pastor, and Reverend Norman for allowing me the opportunity to stand before you and speak about the black family, marriage in the black community, specifically as it pertains to black men. I also want to give a shout out to my family, my wife and my 5 children sitting over there. In addition to that, I want to shout out my parents who just celebrated, I think, 42, 43 years of marriage, so they're sitting back there. So I stand before you all today to bring a message about the importance, the significance of black marriage, but in addition to that, the role and responsibility that we as black men have as it pertains to our family. As a therapist, I went into a family's home one time, and in this particular situation, I was sitting in front of a husband, a wife, and a child, a son. And the form of therapy that I was supposed to be performing was functional family therapy. And so automatically, the guy, he asked me the question, he said, "Are you trying to imply that my family is dysfunctional?" And so what I said to him, I said, "No." I said, "But we all have stuff that we need to work on." And so today I'm coming to you all because I want to lift up the point that we all have stuff that we need to work on. I think that it's important that we recognize when it comes to black men and their role in the family, fellas, we got to show up. We got to show up differently, we got to show up better, and we got to represent like the men that we're supposed to be. What I want to do for you all today, because my time is extremely limited, is give you 7 critical things that you all can do to radically shift how you show up in your family and for your families, because I think by incorporating these 7 things, we can see a drastic difference in the way our community looks. Point number 1, and what I'm going to use is, my last name is Ma'at, so I'm going to use the principles of Ma'at because I think that they're imperative when it comes to incorporating or implementing or changing how our community looks. So principle number 1, and I want everybody to repeat after me. Number 1, truth. Say truth. Fellas, we got to tell the truth. We got to be truthful in how we show up in our speech, in our actions, and our deeds. We got to stop lying. You know, you got to make a decision. You can't be James St. Patrick. You can't be Ghost. Be you. Be you. Show up as you in your life and in your family. Represent you. Stop playing games and show up as yourself. Point number 2, we have justice. Everybody say justice. We speak about justice. What I'm talking about is accountability. Take ownership of your stuff. Take ownership of it. Look at yourself in the mirror and recognize that we all have issues, we all have problems. We got to take ownership and be accountable. It's really important that we be accountable. Your women and your children are looking at you, so please show up and be accountable for your actions. When you make a mistake, say, "I messed up." And then make sure that you put a plan into place to do something different. Apologies without action really ain't worth nothing. So show up and make a move in a different direction to demonstrate that you're actually being accountable. The third thing, righteousness. Everybody say righteousness. Ever since we built the pyramids on the Giza Plateau until this day, God has been at the fulcrum, at the center of who we are as a people. So it's important that we make sure that we keep God at the center of our hearts, at the center of our families, and we recognize that that indwelling divinity is the reason why we've been able to get through the Middle Passage, the reason why we're able to stand here today. So don't misplace, mistake, or underestimate or marginalize God. He's here with you right now, and regardless of what you're going through, he will push you and enable you to get through that. Point number 4, reciprocity. Everybody say reciprocity. Reciprocity is the law of reaping and sowing. Fellas, this message right here I want to give to you, and I want you to listen very clearly. Every piece of land or every plot of land that you plant your seed in, it don't deserve or need to be there. It don't deserve or need to be there. You need to treat yourself with respect. I'm going to repeat that. Brother Norman said he don't think that they heard that. Every plot of land that you see don't deserve your seed. Be intentional about who you choose to lay down with, who you choose to create a family with. Every plot of land or every, and I'm not trying to minimize or marginalize women. What I'm saying is that the women have held it down for us for a long time. But brothers, a lot of times we're making mistakes because our picker is broken. We're choosing the wrong people. We're choosing the wrong people because we're not aware of who we are in our own dysfunction. And so because of that, we end up choosing dysfunctional people. I'm gonna give you a case in point. It would be a whole lot easier if we as black men and black women were able to walk around with a tag on us to say what our dysfunction was. For instance, my son, my youngest son, 7 months old, he has a bib that says Mr. Messy. On that bib, you'll see peas, you'll see carrots, you'll see corn, you'll see all of that type of stuff. But it's easy to identify him, as beautiful as he is. On his bib, it says Mr. Messy. We as people, we don't walk around with that stuff. So it's your responsibility to, number one, do your work. And in doing your work, you'll be able to identify and see some of the dysfunction in other people and then choose the appropriate person. Number 5, I said truth, justice, righteousness, reciprocity, balance. Fellas, we can't do it without our women. We cannot do it without our women. You need your woman. You need your woman. I could not raise my 5 children without my woman. I love my wife to death, and I recognize that with the role that she plays and the role that I play are 2 distinct and different roles. We need to make sure that we honor our women and respect our women, because without doing that, that's what leads to the chaos and the catastrophe in our community. Number 6, order. Number 6, order. Fellas, develop a plan and work that plan. Everybody in here is a creator. One of the principles, I think behind me or up here somewhere, we see the image of the Ankh. The Ankh is the male-female principle, and then you have the fight, and then you have the creativity in the middle. It's important for everybody to develop the responsibility or the right to actually create. It's important that we recognize that as men, our women are looking at us to create safe communities, safe homes, and to raise our children. So make sure that you're creating that for your family. And number 7, the 7th principle, truth, justice, righteousness, reciprocity, balance, order, and peace. Fellas, we're not at war with our black women. We're not at war with our children. We're not at war with each other. We need to stand hand in hand, side by side with each other, with our women, with our children, and recognize that we have to do this thing together. Without doing it together, we're not going to survive, y'all. So when they say 1.5 million black men are missing, all the black men in here stand up. All the black men in here stand up and show them that we have brothers in here who are willing to recognize and represent who we are as black men. We got brothers in here who are willing to stand up and represent their families, stand by their women, and show that we're here, we're going to be here, we're going to keep on working, and we are black men, and we proud to be black men. Thank y'all. All right.